Hebrews 11:31 tells us, "By faith the prostitute Rahab, because she welcomed the spies, was not killed with those who were disobedient." This powerful verse introduces us to a woman named Rahab, whose story of faith and redemption continues to inspire us today. Rahab, living a sinful life in Jericho, is immortalized in the Hall of Faith. Her story reminds us that God's grace extends to everyone, regardless of their past. Rahab's inclusion in Hebrews 11 is remarkable. This chapter celebrates heroes of faith like Abraham, Moses, and Noah. Yet Rahab, a woman with a past, stands shoulder to shoulder with these giants of faith. Why? Because she dared to believe in the God of Israel, a God she had never known. Rahab's story reminds us that our past does not define our future. God can redeem and use anyone who is willing to turn to him in faith. Rahab's life took an unexpected turn when she chose to believe in the God of Israel. This decision led her to a new life, a life full of hope and promise. Rahab lived in Jericho, a city steeped in idolatry and wickedness. She was a woman of the streets, her life far from God's light. Yet, when the spies arrived from Israel, Rahab felt a stirring in her heart. She had heard whispers of their God, a God of power and might. When the king of Jericho sent soldiers to capture the spies, Rahab hid them on her roof. She knew the risks, the danger she was facing by defying her king. But Rahab had made a choice. She had chosen to believe in the God of Israel, the God who was about to tear down the walls of Jericho. Rahab told the king's men, "Yes, the men came to me, but I did not know where they were from. And when it was time to close the gate at dark, the men went out. I do not know where the men went. Pursue them quickly, for you will overtake them." Joshua 2:4-5. Rahab's decision to hide the spies was an act of defiance against her city and her past. It was a declaration of faith in the God she had come to believe in, and it was this act of faith that would change her life forever. Before the walls of Jericho crumbled, Rahab made a confession. She said to the spies, "I know that the Lord has given you the land and that the terror of you has fallen on us, and that all the inhabitants of the land melt away before you. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea before you when you came out of Egypt, and what you did to the two kings of the Amorites who were beyond the Jordan, to Sihon and Og, whom you devoted to destruction. And as soon as we heard it, our hearts melted, and there was no spirit left in any man because of you. For the Lord your God, he is God in the heavens above and on the earth beneath." Joshua 2:9-11. This wasn't merely a statement of fact, it was a declaration of faith. Rahab recognized the God of Israel as the one true God, the God of heaven and earth. This confession was a pivotal moment in Rahab's life. She was no longer defined by her past, but by her faith in the God of Israel. Rahab's faith was not just a passive belief, it was an active trust that spurred her to action. She hid the spies, risking her life for the God she had come to believe in. This act of courage demonstrated the depth of her newfound faith. Rahab was instructed to hang a scarlet cord from her window, a sign of her faith and a symbol of God's promise to save her and her family. This scarlet cord, a beacon of hope amidst the impending destruction, pointed towards a future filled with God's grace and mercy, and the scarlet cord stands as a powerful image of redemption. Just as the blood of the Passover lamb saved the Israelites in Egypt, this scarlet cord marked Rahab's household for salvation. It's a visual reminder that God's grace extends even to the most unexpected places. Rahab's story doesn't end with the fall of Jericho. She is listed in the lineage of Jesus Christ, as mentioned in Matthew chapter 1, verse 5. Imagine that! A woman once known for her sin was chosen to be part of the lineage of the Savior of the world. Rahab's story is a testament to the boundless love and grace of God. It reminds us that no one is beyond the reach of God's redemption. No matter your past, no matter your mistakes, God's arms are open wide, ready to embrace you with his love and forgiveness. Like Rahab, we're all invited to step out in faith, to trust in God's plan for our lives. He sees past our flaws and failures and sees the potential for greatness that lies within each of us. Just as he redeemed Rahab's story, he longs to redeem yours. Take courage from Rahab's story. No matter where you've been or what you've done, God's grace is sufficient for you. He's ready to write a new chapter in your life, a chapter filled with hope, purpose, and redemption. So will you trust him? Will you step out in faith like Rahab did? God isn't looking for perfect people. He's looking for faithful ones. If this encouraged you, let me know in the comments. What's one way you can step out in faith today? Don't forget to like, subscribe and share this with someone who needs hope. God isn't done writing your story.